Okay, for this portfolio video, we're going to be doing the wrist, finger, and thumb goniometry. So we're going to start here with the thumb palmar abduction, and I'm going to be here on the wrist. She's going to abduct her thumb actively for 40 degrees and then passively for 50. And then now with her palm down, she's going to do thumb radial abduction. So I'm going to go on the wrist, on the wrist joint here, and then she's going to abduct her thumb actively for 42 degrees and then passively for 49 degrees. Now next we're going to do radial deviation, which is going to be when her wrist is deviating towards her thumb radially. I'm going to measure from the third metacarpal. She's going to go actively for about 15 degrees and then passively up to 20 degrees. And then for ulnar deviation, you stay in the same spot, measure from the same finger, the third metacarpal, and she's going to go towards her ulna for about 20 degrees active and then about 25 degrees passively. So next, we're going to be doing wrist flexion and extension. So we're going to stay here on the wrist joint. She's just going to flex her wrist actively for about 65 degrees and then passively up to all the way to 75. And then for wrist extension, you stay on the same joint, and it is about 65 degrees passively, actively about 75 degrees. Then next we're going to be doing the fingers, the finger joints. So we're going to start on the thumb and do the thumb CMC. So she's going to flex her thumb actively. I'm going to measure right here on the joint, go over top. She's at about 60 degrees active and then passive up to about 65, almost 67 degrees. Then we're going to go up to the next joint, which is the IP joint of the thumb, and we're going to flex that, and that is about 77 degrees of active motion, and then passively all the way up to about 85 degrees. So next we're going to do the fingers. So we're going to do the MP joint here, flexion. So she's going to flex that as much as she can actively, and I'm going to measure at about 75 degrees, and then I'm going to passively push on it and get all the way up to about 85 degrees. And we're going to go up to the next joint, which is the PIP joint here. She's going to flex that all the way up to about 96 passively, and then actively she's going to get up to about 103. And then the next joint, which is the DIP joint, the most distal joint here, I'm going to hold her joint here. She's going to flex as far as she can. I'm going to get about 39 degrees of active, and what is that, about 54 degrees of passive motion there.